Hey Wendy, we're back to normal. Okay. Again, we're starting off with a stand. Okay. Now, you can get these at B&H Photo. You can also make these out of 2x4s and stuff like that. It just depends on what you need. We have lights. Let's talk about lights. What does light do? What are we trying to do? What is the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything about light? Okay? What are we trying to do? We are trying to imitate somebody, although we can't get close. We are trying to imitate the light God gives us, the sun, basically, and trying to make it light up our object. Okay? Now, light does several things, but it bounces. It can transmit through an object, like a window. It can be diffused by an object, like clouds. But it can't turn. It can bounce off of something, but it can't. It has something to do with prism, and I can't remember what it was, but it was very important to some of my photography classes. But anyways, all we care about is bouncing in this class. Because that's all we're going to do is bounce light. Okay. At SWAT, they give you a box, and they say this box is what you need. It's got a top and a bottom and a side, and then the opening so you can shoot through it. And it's got a white background. And, oh my gosh, it's so simple. Even an idiot can use it. Well, sorry, I was going to say anybody can buy it, but I think you have one. Never mind. Throw it away. Give it away to somebody. Because, first of all, I've already taught you how to do a proper background. Okay? And we're going to show you how to do a proper lighting. So basically, all you need to do, and don't buy this until I see you, is a flash. There's different kinds of flashes. Okay? Now, a flash will do many, many things. I actually have to run to my camera bag over here because I want to see if I have something that I haven't used in a while. Yes, I found it. I forgot to get this up. Let me get this earlier. But you don't actually have to worry about what I have right here because it's nothing. We buy an adapter for it. You have to be able to take your flash off your camera. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take pictures of stuff at some point and show them to you and say, why is this bad? You're doing stuff. What you want to do is you want to make things show up that you think are important, like depth. How do you make depth show up in a picture? Okay. Back in the 80s, do you remember something called glamour shots? Okay. Glamour shots, what they were is they would put you on a white background and they would take lights all over the place, and lights would fill in every crook and crevice of your face. Wrinkles, which you don't have, I do, are caused by depths and valleys of your skin. Okay? And if you have light coming in from one direction, it's going to cause a shadow. So think of high noon outdoors in the middle of the day. Go outside, you'll see a sharp shadow in August. Okay? Go out tomorrow in the cloudiness, you won't see a shadow at all because the sun's still there, but it's having to bounce through those clouds. And you have light coming from everywhere. The sun's hitting that cloud over there, and it's hitting that cloud over there, and it's coming straight down, and it's putting out one unit of light here and some light over here, but they're canceling each other out, so the shadows aren't appearing. So there's an equal amount of sunlight coming over here, there's an equal amount of light here, an equal light, and it's just coming from everywhere. And that's what we like. We like shadowless light, but we have to have shadows to make them pretty. That is kind of counterproductive, but... So, let me explain that. What I don't like about the thing at SWAT is they get rid of all the shadows, okay? And they even tell you, some of them, I've seen it where they say, put your camera on, flash on your camera and shoot straight on, okay? What that does is you have a flash on your camera, it shoots straight on, light comes straight into you, and it gets rid of all the wrinkles, and you makes you look like a 16-year-old girl, and you have no wrinkles, you have no depth, you have no personality. So we can make everybody's face look the same because everybody's face is different because of the imperfections of the face. Bigger nose, bigger eyes, smaller eyes, stuff like that. And the only way I can show them is by shadows. Sorry, my cat just walked across the floor. Anyways, so when you're using a flash straight on, all it does is get rid of the shadows because the light bounces straight into the object and fills all those crevices and comes straight back. Okay. So what they do in SWAT is they say, well, put your light in here and put a light over here and you put a light over here and you have light coming from everywhere, and then suddenly you still don't have shadows. But it's nice and pretty light. Okay, well, what they don't tell you is if you had this light a whole lot more powerful than this light, you would have light coming in a direction and it would cause shadows, and this light would be filling in the shadows a little bit so you can control how dark your shadows are. Ooh, that's getting kind of technical. So let's go back to square one. Okay, let's say rolls here, cameras here. This is how I have lit every single thing I've ever lit since day one that I first picked up a camera. And I still do it this way, and everybody else should do it this way. Camera should be 45 degrees off axis of your subject and your camera, or off your camera. So about here. And it should cast light this way. Okay. Now, here's where it gets kind of weird, because everybody would say, you know what? That's our light. Well, that's not my light. The smaller the light source, the harsher your shadows are going to be. Hence, go out and look at high noon in August. You have the sun blaring down on you. Your shadows are incredibly sharp. You go out at noon tomorrow in the middle of the day in January and you'll see overcast and lights coming from everywhere, and it's nice and soft. We like soft light in portraiture. Harsh light would be like some old craggy lady that I found in Mexico, and I want to see her in black and white and take some wrinkly, nasty picture and cover the National Geographic. That's cool, but we don't care about that. So, smaller light source. Okay. So this is a small light source. This is going to make a very harsh shadow going that way. Well, we can change that. Now I'm going to start showing you things that we can do to modify light. And about everything we use are called light modifiers. Okay. You can take your light, aim it straight up, and then you usually have what is called a bounce card. The light comes out of here as a cone, so it's basically going to go hit my roof right now. But a little bit of it will hit here and go straight that way. So if I'm taking a picture of a bride and groom at a wedding, and I'm in the reception hall, I will use this to hit light off the ceiling, but I'm using this to light up their eyes and have little bright little highlights in their eyes. Okay? So we still don't like that right there for what we're doing here though. Okay? The secret, and I'll tell you, this is the whole secret about everything, is don't aim the flash at your subject, even though I just told you to have it 45 degrees and have the light aimed that way. This is my secret. I will have my flash hit my ceiling, and then it will go that way, because it bounces. Okay? And it's a mathematical law. Basically, it states that if the light goes in this direction, it's going to hit there, and it's going to bounce over here, and it's going to bounce over here, and it's going to bounce over there, and it's going to bounce everywhere, and then it's going to go that way. Okay? And it's going to have a big light source, because it's like the big clouds in the day. When you have a big light source, the softer your shadow. So what this is going to do, it's going to hit that, and it's going to boom and break apart and get big, and it'll be a huge light source. Okay? When I'm out taking portraits of people, I use this as a light modifier. Okay? Actually, I have to put this together. Stick this one here. And this is a light modifier, also known as a softbox. Okay. And basically, it's silver inside, so it bounces light around, but it's always aimed toward the subject. And then we have a scrim. Now, when the light hits the scrim, the light's coming out of the cone, it hits the scrim, and suddenly that light becomes as large as this piece of material here. Now I have a light source. The bigger the light source, the softer your shadows. Now think of this. If you put this on this side of the object aimed this way, and if you have another one on that side aimed this way, and another one aimed, you have basically the light box they sell at SWAT. So consider this to be a third of what SWAT sells you. We're going to tell you other ways to get around that. You do not need this. Not yet. These are things we have to talk about in person. But this is what I carry around outdoors taking pictures. So basically what I do is I take a flash and turn it on. And there's my cat. Here we go. And I have a battery so I can use lots and lots of pictures. But flash, flash. So what it does is this has a mount. We can stick straight onto it. And I usually have a remote control that fires this, but basically if you look at the white part of the material, boom. It's not just that little cone shape coming from the flash. It's now a huge light source. Okay? I turn this off and put this away. This happens to be a very manual flash. They still make them, but people quit using them because they're you actually have to know what you're doing to use them. But you can get a mount to go on here. And you can stick that and lock it down. There you go. So, but you'd probably do a lot more secure. There you go. Now, we're going to recommend we figure out how to do something similar to this for you. Okay. Now, let me show you how I do it. When I'm in my studio, which is basically my dining room, as I said, this is my outdoor thing. This is my indoor thing. This is a studio light. These are professional quality. Have nothing to do with anything, except I'm just going to show you that they're very, very powerful. Okay? So, we're going to turn the light off. But basically, the difference between this and a flashlight, the difference between this and this, the difference between that and that, the difference between this and sunlight, is how much power is packed into this thing. Because your flash on your camera will go poof. This thing will go pow. You can fry bugs with it. But what I basically do is I aim this at my corner of my ceiling, take a picture, it fires and fills the whole room with light. Light's bouncing everywhere, even off my white walls over here, going this way. And that's the primary way to shoot stuff. Okay? Now I'm actually going to set up another session. I'm going to set up a light for you and a camera. I'm going to go around with my iPad to show you how it's set up, because I'm going to have to use that camera and that tripod and stuff to take pictures. Okay? So the only thing is I got to figure out how my iPod needs to stay still. But anyways, so there are other modifiers you're going to need, but they're basically sheets of cardboard. Okay? So basically you're going to need a camera that you're going to set at f8. And you're going to set it on A, which means aperture priority. Okay. You're going to have it on a tripod so it doesn't move. You're going to get you some way to get a flash that can fire that's not connected to your camera. Okay. That's basically it. And you've already ordered the background. You're now a professional photographer. You can actually go on a lecture tour. Anyways, I'll be right back. I'm going to take a picture of something.